Oh my days, blood. Oh my days, fam. You know, okay, this video that you see right in front of you in other small little clips, man, yeah, from TikTok that I'm about to bring here after this one, yeah, is all yeah about this question of called what is a woman or what is a real woman. And I cannot believe that these days the way things here are going, especially even before Trump came on board, you know, in his election a couple of years back. Um, I cannot believe the way things were at the time, you know, and even for myself, um, I see things and I consider things and I kind of, you know, and I have some really good discernment. And I'm not saying that I cannot believe that this is happening based on the fact that I'm naive and I don't know what's happening. No, I know what's happening, but for the life of me, I cannot believe that this actually happened. The down people think that this is a progressive thing that we're seeing in the world today, but it actually is not. Basically, it's downgrading. People might even people that don't know what a woman is very, very concerning, especially with generations coming up. There was a saying, and I said this in the previous video, that facts don't care about your happiness, don't care about your feelings. But yet people twist and turn biology. For the life of me, I cannot believe it. So when I saw this video, I said, no, surely not, blood. Surely not. And when I saw the other TikTok video, I was like, all right, wait, let me react it with you guys. So let's do this. All right, man. So then this video here, man, yeah, it's called Jesse Stumped Liberal Feminist with One Question. What is a real woman?
What is a man?
I'm not really sure, like, the technical definition. I've never been like, well, does he have balls? What if he loses a ball? I don't know. What if he only has one ball? Is he still a man? I'm not really sure. In high school, there was a kid and he got a soccer ball hit him in the nuts and one popped. Is he still a man? I have no idea. Do you think if a man has one nut, he's still a man? I don't know.
Oh, man. Oh, fam. Oh, man. The way that he looks right there, man, Jesse Lee Peterson. Let me tell you, fam. Let me tell you guys, man. For real, big man thing. I would have reacted the exact same thing. How can you not know, man, what a woman and what a man is? It has nothing, man, to do here with the organs they have. Because, you know, like a woman and a man, they have similar organs. I think most of them are the same. But there were little bits and pieces around that can definitely tell you what is a man and what is a woman, organ wise. But one of the reasons that I think of what is a man and what is a woman, is based here on the XX and XY chromosome, blood. It's based here on the DNA. I don't understand here what this is what I am kind of concerned about. I'm concerned about the young people that are coming through, young people that are being born these days, and then they're being indoctrinated here by this, blood. This is what I'm very concerned about. I'm very concerned about.
Amazing. Are you done?
Fam.
So let me ask, did you vote for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump?
I voted for Kamala.
Why?
Yeah, typical.
I believe that she had more of the vision that I wanted, and also I felt like Trump's first administration, he didn't get a lot done, and it was very like he was more focused on the social issues of being angry about different types of people than he was about actually succeeding in policy.
What was her vision that you had? You said she had the same vision you have, right?
Yeah.
What was that?
I think it was more her views on like equality and I'm sorry, I'm blanking on some of them right now. But
thought so.
okay. But I feel like Trump's views were like a definite no for me, and so I definitely didn't want him in power.
The thing about it is that obviously because I'm from the UK, I don't know much about what Donald Trump did in his first reign in the White House. But what I do know about the second one is that what I read about Donald Trump, and of course, look, every anybody man that goes into the White House, and become president, obviously they're gonna have pros and cons. I'll never say that Barack Obama, when he was there was always pros. There were always pros and cons. Anybody that goes into the White House, there always will be pros and cons. I'm not gonna lie. It's like here with the chaos that's happening right now. And I won't get into it because here in the UK, it's such a mess. I can't lie. It's such a mess. And when you come to London, you wouldn't even recognize, man. It is a Christian country. It is built here in Christian values. It's built here on like for example, okay, like the pubs, for example, right? It's built on the culture of the UK. And you know what they try to do? They try to, for example, I'm not saying word for word, but I know for sure that they were trying to get rid of pubs. And then a lot of people, they were really not happy. They're removing all sorts here of benefits, for families. And also the illegal immigrants that are coming in. It is absolutely terrible. And for me, with the immigrants and illegal immigrants, I agree about immigrants coming in. That's only if they come to benefit the country, which a lot of our, grandfathers, our mothers have done. But when it comes to the country illegally, that's where the problem lies. And not even that, you have to control the borders, because then what happened is that the UK, basically, the UK is such a soft touch. Before, how the UK was governed based on how people come in was that if the UK had a special ties here with a specific country abroad. But it seems like these days they just open the borders here for anybody to come in. It's peak. Anyway, but what I'm trying to say here about Donald Trump, from what I know, Donald Trump here stands here for the human truths, like man and a woman. Like, for example, the things that were happening before Donald Trump, it was brazy. It was unfathomable. Like, for example, you allow a boy to go into a girl's toilet. What? Feminism here have ruined a lot. We men, we care about good men, good Christian-like men, and as per usual, you gotta be discerning. Good men, not men who are abusive and are narcissists. No, good men, you care about the purity of a woman, the femininity, not feminist, femininity. I agree with Donald Trump that the fact that it's a man and a woman, but then when you have all of these gender roles that came out, like I heard that it was more than 25. I was like, where did this come from?
That's where it was like, well, if I'm choosing between the horrible and like not horrible, I would go with the not horrible.
But you said that Kamala Harris had the same vision that you have. What's that?
I think that there's definitely more a focus on equality as a general principle. There's looking at like having policies that are, you know, support like working mothers and support more general, like I said, equality. I'm blanking on like.
All right, something like, I mean, helping working mothers, something like that. Because the way things are going with women getting into the workforce, you know, like that, that's something we can all agree because of how the economy has been going. First, that's something I can agree with because anyway, you know, like this single mother household and single father household, etc. There is a big problem in that. There's a massive problem. Because like everybody needs to take accountability and responsibility on who they're caught with. This is why dating is a very dating in general is a very it's a problem, especially when people these days, the shaming thing that's been like I said before, like women can be, so to say, a whore, a prostitute, and say that I've done this, I've done that. Like Bonnie Blue, for example, that. These days, you can't be ashamed about that. People, women in general, they're boasting about that. And I'm like, no, don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself, blood. And then they... Because you think that you're getting content, publicity, but actually you are mocking yourself mentally. You're making other people take advantage of you, and you're not noticing. In doing this thing with men and women, it's meant to be in the secrecy between you and someone you love. Not this is what I mean, man. Society has gone absolutely downhill.
Like specific policies that I can say right now. But
Nice.
I don't think that Trump cares about equality, and I don't think that Trump cares about people's happiness.
And
in
what
general.
is equality?
You see that happiness. That's the problem. I guarantee you 100%, man, that Donald Trump care about people's happiness. I guarantee that he does, but not the way that you see it. Because if it's like, oh, for me to be happy, for me, I can be a woman. No, that is not how you. How does this come across people's minds? No offense here to people who have this this problem, this mental psychological problem of, like they say that I'm born in the wrong body and this and that. This is when the mothers, the fathers have to speak to the child and say, look, God made you as a boy. God made you as a girl. If you were a girl, if you were born as a girl, you were a girl. The Lord made you as a girl. The Lord made you unique, beautiful as a girl. Exactly like the boy. The Lord made you unique, handsome as a boy. You got to nip it at the bud early, so when it grows up, it doesn't infest, it doesn't grow like a plant. And then it grows into like a massive tree and it's too late. You know them ones there. Someone said, yeah, but if I want to be a man, I can just get work and make me a man. No. It's not. Having work is an extension of being a man, but it doesn't make you a man. If you know where I'm coming from. It's all about the inward that makes you a man. It's about the way you carry yourself. It's the way that the boundaries you have as a man, the respect you have for yourself, not other people dictating your feelings. And then they say that, oh yeah, what makes me happy?
Equality.
Equality to me is goes to my principle of like mind your business. Like If someone lives different than you, that's totally fine.
Right.
But they have an equal level of power in our economy and in the law.
But what is equality?
Equality is an equal amount of power and rights under the law.
What does that mean?
So that means that like everyone has an equal right to vote, or everyone has an equal right, you know, if they choose to be LGBTQ, that's okay as well. There's not like, you know, Trump like repealed that, so now there's only men and women can be listed on driver's license. And
that is exactly right, because it's based on your biology. It's not based on what you think. It's not based on the problem you have. It's not based on that. Like, for example, like if I went up here to my mom and I said that I'm a girl, for example, that's a mental health problem. These days, people celebrate it and uproot it instead of killing the bud, killing it from the roots. And then you have this thing before about I've got the word for it, but it's like boys and girls under of a certain age can go and get a gender change. Let me put it that way. That one is shocking. And then the amount of mental health problem in terms of homicide, suicide thing, taking their own life, let me put it that way, it's skyrocketed. That tells you everything you need to know. We have so many. It's not like as if that mental health problems have been a problem. Mental health has been a problem back in the day. Of course it has. But right now, because it's been exposed, there are more problems than ever. It's a mental issue.
And that kind of stuff I'm personally against. That doesn't support my values.
So you think that a man in a dress who think that he's a woman, or a woman in pants who think that she's a man, should be able to say on their driver's license that they're something that they're not?
Yes, I think that they should be able to, if it makes them happy and it doesn't hurt me, power to them.
But isn't that a sign of mental illness?
Not for me. I don't think it is.
And why not?
Because
so a male who think that he's a woman, right? But you know he's not a woman. He really knows he's not. He just thinks he is. Or a woman who thinks she's a man, but you know she's a woman. You wouldn't call that mental illness?
I call that
sanity?
a choice. That's what makes them happy. If it
It's
makes
sanity.
I think it's sane.
How's that sane?
Because that's their choice.
How's that sane, though?
They can live however they want. If
You're
it's not
right
hurting
about
people,
that.
I don't care.
Right, absolutely. I totally agree. They can live whatever they want, however they want. But why would you call that
Sane, because it's
why would you call that sane?
it's a rational choice.
What do you mean by that?
They said, you know what, I'm actually happier wearing a dress, and so I'm choosing to wear a dress.
But
Oh my gosh. You know this, right? This, is an offense to women. I can't lie. The Lord made male and female. This right here, man, is offense, man, to God's creation. And also it's offense to women, females in general, who are born biologically as a woman. I cannot put it into words here how this is absolutely, it's unfathomable. Like, for other people, for men to say I'm a woman, but then a woman sees that, and then that particular person doesn't have the DNA of a woman, doesn't have the organs of a woman, doesn't have the bone structure as a woman, don't have the feeling as a woman, don't have like the way that women think, because women think different than men. And some people may say, but if I take the organs away from a woman, then does that make them a man? No. Let me tell you something, right? Does it make them a woman? Yes. If you take the organs away from a woman, it still makes them a woman. You know why? Because their DNA, their bones, how they think, how they feel, their essence is their woman blood. It is such an offense to women. Women will be offended by this. Biologically, women who grew up here in the right age when they were able to learn about biology, what woman is, what real woman is. And then they come to this side of the century, and then they hear these questions like, what is a woman? What is a man? You know what I'm saying? If a woman were to turn into a man, that is even offensive to men in general. And that's blasphemy to the Lord. He made male and female, men and women. Absolutely crazy.
Would you in your mind say that's a real woman?
I don't know what a real woman is. I see that's where it's like
you don't know what a real woman is?
I'm fine with them choosing whatever they want. It's not hurting me.
Right. I understand. You're right about that. They can do what they want.
So I don't want to put a label on them.
But
that's
what
their
is
choice.
a real woman?
I have no idea. What do you think a real woman is?
You don't know what a real woman is?
What's a real woman?
Are you a real woman?
I don't know. What's a real woman?
So you don't... What the...
What's a real woman? Real means not fake, but that's so vague. I don't know what you're asking me.
So I'm asking you this. I'm black and slow, so I may be right. I don't understand. Are you a real woman?
I hope so.
You're not sure?
I don't know what real woman means.
And why not?
Well, I'm asking you, what does it mean?
Why is it you don't know what a real woman is?
Because what does it mean? I'm asking you for a definition.
So you don't know if you're a real woman or not?
I know that I'm a woman. I don't know what a real woman is. What's a real woman?
So when you see yourself in the mirror,
I'm like, that's a woman.
how do you know that's a woman?
Because I think I'm a woman.
What?
Because I have the body of a woman and I think I'm a woman.
And do you see a real woman in the mirror?
I think so. I see a woman.
Do you see
What's a real woman? What's a real woman?
Do you see a real woman in the mirror?
What's a real woman?
No, I'm asking you. When you're
No, I'm
looking
asking
at
you to define it.
When you're looking at you in the mirror,
I see a woman. I don't know what a real woman is.
You don't?
What is? I'm asking you to define it. What do you define a real woman
Do you know
as?
what a fake woman is?
What would a fake woman be?
Do you know what a fake woman is?
Does that mean you have fake nails?
What do
if
you
you
mean?
have fake lashes, are you a fake woman?
What do you mean you don't know what a real woman is?
I'm asking you what the...
Is this real? Is this a game? I can't believe I'm seeing this. It looked like as if that these people did not have a brain cell.
How do you define that?
And I don't even. I'm trying to understand your thinking.
I'm trying to understand your thinking.
What
I
do you
can't
mean
if I don't know
you
what
don't know what a real woman is?
I
What do
know
you
what a
mean by that?
woman is.
Are you? Do you have a degree?
Yeah.
You went to college?
Yeah, I don't have a doctor's degree though.
But when did you stop?
Yeah, but it doesn't take a genius to know what a real woman is. You don't need a college degree. You don't need a bachelor's degree. You don't need a doctorate degree to know what a real woman is. You learn that when you're in secondary school.
Remembering what a real woman was.
What is it? Can you please?
No, Matthew.
In order for me to answer your question, it would be great to have a definition of what's the difference between a woman and a real woman. How do you define those differently?
That's amazing. Are you joking?
Exactly.
I'm asking you a question.
Oh.
Exactly. That's exactly my thinking right now. That's exactly my thinking right now, man. I can't believe it what I'm actually hearing. You know, and when I was hearing this way back, you know, before Trump's reign, I couldn't believe it. What I was hearing and what was coming out, you know, and allowing certain things to happen. Because these kind of things here will destroy humanity. People don't realize that. People just think about their feelings and that. But the thing about it is that how do a female get pregnant? If you want to put real woman into it, real women get pregnant. you know, when these men become women. I mean, look, no offense. Do whatever you want, fam. But I stand here for the human truth. I mean, I stand, man, here on Lord Jesus' truth here, blood.
Okay. I noticed that, and I'm trying to learn about, you teaching me a lot.
Okay.
So you don't know, do most millennial women don't know what a real woman is?
I think if you went up to someone on the street and were like, do you know what a real woman is? They'd be like, you mean a woman? And you're like, no, a real.
No, the thing about it is that people with a brain cell that went through actual real schooling back in the day will know what a woman or a real woman is. Because the thing about it is that it's not that I think as a woman. Because that doesn't really make sense. I'm a woman because I think as a woman. No, because you were born as a woman.
Woman, they'd be like, what do you mean a real woman?
That's what the average millennial woman would say?
Yeah, I think that they'd be like, I know what a woman is, but what's a real woman?
Really?
What's that mean?
So when you're looking at yourself in the mirror, you're not understanding that you're seeing a real woman.
I look at the mirror and I say, I'm a woman. Do I look at the mirror and say, I'm what Jesse defines as a real woman? No, I don't know what that is. That's why I'm asking you for a definition.
If you saw a man who pretended...
No, it's what God made as a female, as a woman.
Right? And then you...
This is what happens here when you don't have the Lord in your leading in life. Because you go by your feelings, you go by your knowledge. And we all know that knowledge puffs up. So you got to be very careful on how you absorb knowledge. Do you absorb knowledge in the way of how, like in wisdom, like the know-how for the Lord to lead you in that knowledge? Or do you use knowledge to puff up, to be pride, to be egotistical, to say that, oh, I know everything? It's just unbelievable. It's absolutely crazy, blood. Absolutely crazy, fam.
You see yourself as a woman, which one would you think is real? The man that pretended to be a woman or the woman that is a woman?
I mean, looking at how they look, I probably think the woman that is a woman. But if the man wants to be a woman, if he chooses it, that's his choice.
Right. That's
I'm going to mind my business. I'm going to let him do it.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
But when you're looking at a man who pretends to be a woman and you're looking at yourself, a woman, you would think which is real?
I would think I would be the real one.
And why?
Because visibly, maybe he's not good at doing his nails yet.
That is amazing. So let me ask, I noticed that millennial women are jealous of men today. Why is that?
I don't think millennial women are jealous of men today.
Is they not jealous why they want to be like men or be equal to men?
I don't think that they want to be like men. They want to have the same amount of choices as men.
Meaning what?
They want to be able to work in the workplace. They want to be able to make choices about their bodies. They want to not be judged for how they look. There are a lot of things that men have that women don't, and I think women want, again, going back to the equality, they want the same things. That doesn't mean that they want to be a man. They want the same choices as men.
So they want to be able to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be able to plow a mule.
To do what? Sorry. I don't understand what you said.
Pick cotton.
I don't think anyone wants to pick cotton. I think if you're picking cotton, you're forced to pick cotton.
So they want what men want.
They want the same choices as men. Opportunities. They want the same opportunities as men.
But why would that why are they jealous of men though? They want to be equal to men. Why are they why are they comparing themselves to a man? Why can't they just be a woman, go to work, whatever, without comparing themselves to a man?
I think that they want to be able to go to work and not have worry about, oh, do my nails look good? Oh, is there discrimination happening? They want to be able to go to work and be like, I just want to do my job.
So if they
don't... there are so many things. Obviously, we men don't mind women going to work and them man there. because of the situation that's happening with the economy. These days you need 2 income for the home and that. But that's all well and good for all of that. We don't mind that. Even matter of fact, it's not about what the man thinks. You go and do it, because there are situations happen and you have to go to work. You gotta take a part-time job. You gotta do all these things. But then if it's in the lines of I don't need a man, for example, or like you have some type here of an idea what to do after you have a certain amount of money. Because you know what happens in the relationship, normally the man's money is both men and the woman's money, but the money that the woman gets is for her. That's why it becomes very, very difficult when it comes to marriage and them and there. I know there's a lot because over there how my mind is, but and everybody's all for it. You can go and work, and the thing about it also is the fact that when women actually go to work, they take on a masculine trait. I think there are certain jobs out there, like being a waitress, for example, because it's a serving role. To us men, is beautiful because you're serving others. But then when you take on like a masculine job, that's when the problem lies, because there are certain women out there, and really, really good women out there, and I know this for sure because I've spoken to some of them, that they know that being strong women and saying that I don't need a man, they know this is wrong. And they want to be soft-hearted, they want to be feminine, they don't want to take on too much. And this is when they end up saying, oh, I actually need a man. I mean, like I said before, there's so much, man, we could talk about this video that goes from the marriage and everything like that. But yeah, man, the way the world is going, especially how the family unit is so beautiful, but yet, we hear this thing that, would you destroy the family unit for your happiness? That happiness that ruins the family unit is a duty. And not even that, how the world is going at the moment, it can only get worse. It's going to get worse because we think that the next year will get better, the next year will get better, the next year will get better. No, less of that. Less of that, fam. It's going to go downhill. We've seen it. We think we get better, but it's only going to get worse. All right, fam. This right here is the TT video that you can see here from the title of the video here. It's called How Would You Define a Woman? Exactly the same thing that what is a real woman. And me, I rate this guy, Mr. Welsh, for saying it how it is, like that.
How would you define a woman? Because you've asked other people up here to define how we would define a woman. How would you define a woman, Mr. Walsh?
An adult human female.
And how don't trans people, how doesn't a transgender woman fit that definition?
Female. Because they're not female. They have, you said that you are a biological male, correct?
I said I'm transgender. I might be intersex for all we know. About almost as many people in the world are transgender as intersex, and
well,
a lot of people don't know.
Well, but that's a different conversation. Intersex, that's a genetic anomaly, that's a medical condition. So that's a completely different conversation. That's also not that's not a third gender. That's just
That is what I'm trying to say when I said before that it's just male and female. And I remember what I said about, like, they came up with so many genders, like more than 25 of them. And I was like, who, what? The thing about it is that if I told somebody that I want to be a frog, people may think I'm a lunatic. This is what I mean about, like, this year is a mental health issue and it needs to be dealt with. You don't uproot it, put water and let it grow into a tree to the point that it becomes very difficult. And then it becomes done. But you got to get to the root of it, and this is what you get. Like what you said, exactly what I said before, for a minute. This is a medical issue. This is a mental health issue. But yet people just get along with it.
That's a genetic anomaly that occurs within the sex binary of male and female. What you're saying is that a quote-unquote trans woman is a female?
By the definitions I'm familiar with, yes.
So how would you define female?
Through my training in healthcare, there are several different categories for how we define sex. People bring up chromosomes. People also bring up hormone levels. People bring up all sorts of other categories. Lots of people don't fit neatly into a gender binary, even people we don't consider to be intersex. It's a complicated spectrum.
It's not complicated, but you also didn't define. So what is a woman? What is a female? What do these words mean?
It's complicated, and I know you're not going to like that answer, but that's because there are no simple answers in human biology.
Let me ask you a question.
You guys,
Well,
hang on. Just let me finish. You guys like to bring up high school level biology classes a lot. I get that a lot, but people who go on to more complicated biology classes will talk about.
The reason why that we bring up high school biology is because that is when it was taught. That is when that it needs to be taught. So you're trying to say that by the time someone goes to college, they need to know about these things? No. You need to know who you are and know the next person. That's why you learn these things, because you're growing up. And obviously mental growth comes into play, because we know that age doesn't fixate you with a mental age. But you're growing up, so you have to know these things at a certain age. And obviously there are times where, like, you don't really need to know that now because of how the person is mentally, either growing because of circumstances. That's totally understandable, like that, because inwardly, emotionally, you're not right yet to know those stuff now. That is totally understandable, fam. You know them way there, but in general, you have to know those things by high school. You have to know those things by secondary school. That's where you know them. That's where you learned it. Like I said in the previous video with that woman, you don't need a doctorate to know these things. He knows the truth. Josh knows the truth. I know the truth. Jeff knows the truth. A lot of mandem out there. A lot of man out there, know the truth. Matt Welsh, man. Absolutely. Unbelievable how things are at the moment.
About sex as a spectrum.
It's not. It's not.
Well, biological researchers would disagree with you.
Well, then they're full of shit, the ones that would say that.
It is absolutely unreal. Absolutely unreal, blood. Absolutely unreal. It is very, very concerning. Very, 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 very concerning. Because like I said before, man, like, the Lord loves the world so much, right? But he's there for ones that are for him, in him, and with him, and is led by him, like that. And look, like I said before, I'm not there to go and convince people, but we're there to put the truth out and say that this is not how it's meant to be. and it's just absolutely shocking, and like you hear the cheers from this video, women, they stand on truths. Women know out there, women know biological women know this is wrong. Absolutely crazy work. This is one of the videos that I was talking about in terms here of what is a woman, what is a man, like that. And me personally, right, the guy that you see here right in front of you, them ones there, I rate him highly for speaking human truths in general. Exactly like what I was talking about here in the, in the previous video here with Jesse Lee Peterson. Right now, people here may end up thinking that he is trying to force a trying to interrogate, if that's the word to call it, trying to force an answer from this doctor, but actually he's standing on the truth, because the way things are going, like I said before, it's shocking. I'm just worried about the young people. Like I said before, women will find this offensive for the simple fact that women don't know what a woman is, what a man is. So let's do this. I mean, I've seen them before in previous videos way back in the dog, and he's been standing on the truth. He asked this question before on somebody else, on a doctor who couldn't answer this question, and he was totally shocked. He said that you, a doctor, don't know what this is. You, a scientist, don't know what this is. And he did say that I am concerned about our world today, that if we have scientists and doctors like you, then in the field we are in serious trouble. And I totally agree 100%. Because this is an offense to women.
Do you think that men can get pregnant?
I hesitated there because I wasn't sure where the conversation was going or what the goal was. I mean, I do take care of patients with different identities. I take care of many women. I take care of people with different identities. And so that's where I paused. I think, I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
Well, the goal is just the truth. So can men get pregnant?
Again, the reason I paused there is I'm not really sure what the goal of the question is.
The goal is just to establish a biological reality. You just said a moment ago that science and evidence should control, not politics.
Exactly. This is what I'm trying to say. This is what I'm trying to say. Right there, it says biology. The thing about it is that I am concerned about the young people growing up to this generation, to this era of, is I just cannot believe what I'm actually hearing. Exactly. Man said biology. This is what it all ties down to. Your DNA, blood. That's what tells you if you are a boy or a girl. Nothing in between.
So let's just test that proposition. Can men get pregnant?
I take care of people with many identities, but
Can men get pregnant?
There are many women that can get pregnant. I do take care of people that don't identify as women.
Can men get pregnant?
Again, as I'm saying,
Let me just remind you what you testified to a moment ago. Science and evidence should control, not politics. So can men get pregnant? You're a doctor, I think.
Science and evidence should guide medicine.
Do science and evidence tell us that men can get pregnant? Biological men, can they get pregnant?
I also think yes/no questions like this are a political tool. And
No, yes/no questions are about the truth, doctor. Let's not.
Exactly. This is about the truth. This is what I've been trying to say. It's about human truths. It's about the Lord Jesus' truth, male and female. male is a boy, female is a woman or a girl. This is what I've been trying to say. We're not trying to make a mockery out of this. And this is the scary part. That's a doctor. I'm just wondering who filtered this down the society.
Make a mockery of this proceeding. This is about science and evidence, and I'm asking you, the United States Supreme Court just heard arguments yesterday at great length on this question. This is not a hypothetical question. This is not theoretical. It affects real people in their real lives. And you're here as an expert, called by the other side as an expert, and you've been telling us that you follow, right, you're a doctor.
An expert. Like I said before, you don't need a doctorate to know these kind of things. You don't need a doctorate. This should be GCSEs or even way before GCSEs to know these kind of things. I don't know how it is in the US in terms of the equivalent curriculum, but it's like high school. You mentioned it is in high school. I'm just wondering who on earth did this.
And you follow the science and the evidence. So I just want to know, based on the science, can men get pregnant? That's a yes or no question. It really is, I think.
Yes and no.
I think you're trying to reduce the complexity of a lot.
I'm not. I'm trying to get, it's not complex. I'm trying to get to an answer, and I'm trying to test, frankly, your veracity.
Exactly.
As a medical professional and as a scientist. Can men get pregnant?
I think you're also conflating
This is
male
extraordinary.
female with
No, I'm not conflating male and female. They're two different things. There's biological men and there's biological women. And I want to know, can men get pregnant?
What you were talking about is biological.
You're not going to answer my question, it sounds like.
Biological males.
This isn't hard, doctor. Can men get pregnant?
It's not even that hard. This is what I'm trying to say about what is a real woman, what is a real man, can a man get pregnant? And like I said before, it is an offense to women, an offense to men. And blasphemy to the Lord himself. I just don't understand this. What? It's just extraordinary, like he said. It's just... wow, fam. Absolute wow, man. Absolutely wow. Because you target young people who are innocent, pure, and are willing to learn. You tell them this, and then they grow up believing this. And this is what happens. And then they end up telling you, me for example, who learned biology back in secondary school or like in US high school, telling you that you were a liar. When biology definitely tells you what a man has and what a man is and what a woman has and what a woman is there. I can bring out my old GCSE textbook and it tells you right then and there what a man and a woman is. I'm just wondering what is in those textbooks now these days. I am literally, I am seething. This is because, unreal. Unreal. Absolutely unreal.
Yes or no?
Again, I would be more than happy to have a conversation with you that is not coming from a place of trying to be polarized and push
I'm
people.
not trying to be polarizing. I'm trying to ask, I think it is extraordinary that we are here in a hearing about science and about women. And for the record, it's women who get pregnant, not men.
It also,
We are here about the safety of women and science that shows.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much, fam. The safety of women.
That this abortion drug causes adverse health events in 11% of cases. That's 22 times greater than the FDA label.
this is it, yeah, when I said about the gender change. And then with the gender change, they have to take medication in order, yeah, to stay there. And that causes problems as well. I mean, tell me in the comment section below, because I know, yeah, there are other people out there that know more than I do. I mean, I would like to know other people's views. Like I said before, I'm open here to know more about the truth, not about what makes you happy and what you think. This is the problem here. Absolutely crazy.
Other facts you haven't acknowledged, and yet you won't even acknowledge the basic reality that biological men don't get pregnant. There's a difference between biological men and biological women. I don't know how we can take you seriously and your claims to be a person of science if you won't level with this on this basic issue. I thought we were past all of this, frankly. I can't believe we're still here talking about this.
Okay.
I am a person of...
Okay. Like I said before about the videos that I watched before, around the era before the second minute of Donald Trump, I think that's what he's referring to those days. He's saying that I thought that people dealt with this, but it's an ongoing issue because people have been indoctrinated when young, and then they challenge people who have learnt this, and they may say, no, that's an old... No, it's still relevant because we're human beings. You know, my female friends, yeah, you know, who are married, pregnant, very happy, man, yeah, to bring their baby to the world with their husbands. It's just a basic fact. It's just a basic fact.
Science, and I'm also someone here who's here to represent the complex experiences of my patients, and I don't think polarized language or questions serve that goal. I don't think they serve the American people.
It is not polarizing to say that there is a scientific difference between men and women, and I want this to be clear and for the record. It is not polarizing to say that women are a biological reality and should be treated and protected as such.
Right.
That is not polarizing. That is truth. It is also, by the way, the United States Constitution, which offers unique protections to women in a variety of circumstances as women.
And this also goes around the world, not just the US, but also here in the UK, people who think logically and people who got brain cells blood. So I 100% agree with that.
And your refusal to recognize women as women and men as men is deeply corrosive to science, to public trust, and yes, to constitutional protections for women as women. And I think it's extraordinary that you would sit here and advance a political agenda that has been thoroughly discredited and rejected by the American people in this forum. And I'm glad we had this exchange because it is exceptionally clarifying. It is also in many ways quite depressing.
Big up to Josh Hawley, Matt Wells, and Jesse Lee Peterson, you know, like that, because these days, the way things are going here is not good whatsoever. It's not good. And we need these people who are in privileged positions to keep on speaking human truths, biological truths, Christ, Lord Jesus truths, basic truths. Because if we don't have these people there, the world is doomed. The world, yeah, is so doomed, fam. We need them to keep on speaking the truths. Even though people don't like it, we have to tell it as is. What we are all concerned about, me, man out there who's still speaking, yeah, the real truths. We're worried about the young people. We're worried about males, females, children, young people, family units, marriages. That's why we need people like them still around to speak the truths, basic truths. This is not about my truth, my truth, my truth. No. This is about life in general. Standard human life. This is what it's all about. You know, standard human life. You know, and like what Josh said, it's absolutely absurd that we are talking about this. It's like as if the world is getting dumber and dumber. This is why we're very concerned about experts, doctors, scientists who are in that position. In other words, it has to take somebody who was not in that field as a profession, but somebody who thinks logically and thinks right to say this is wrong. That's concerning. So we need them in position. We need them in those privileged positions to tell everybody that this is the truth. Anyway, fam. You lot, man, comment in the comment section below, yeah, of what you think, yeah, about all of this, about this video. Like I said before, man, I am open to hear about what you guys think about this. You know, we are open to learn, you know, about the truths, you know, like that. So it's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Anyway, me, GVBrazy. Take care of yourself. Bless. Peace. Big up all you man for watching and has been locked in. See you guys then.